Ray Charles. Mm-hmm.
Success, the noblest, and every gain divine. You know, when I was in school, we used to sing something like this. Listen here. Oh, beautiful by spacious skies, by amber waves of grain. A purple majesty. Now wait a minute. I'm talking about America, sweet America. You know, God done shed his grace on thee. Not good. Yes, he did. Any brotherhood. See, to shine and see. You know, I wish I had somebody to help me sing this. America, I love you, America. See, God, he done shed his grace on thee. You ought to love it, boy. Because he found that good. He told me he would. Every brotherhood. See, to shine, see. I thank you, Lord.
All right.
Hmm.
So I popped in during the reflection today, and that was a beautiful reflection. Now it's time to introduce some of our guests today. Looks like we've got Emily Burke here with us from Walkers Bluff, and Kimberly also from Walkers Bluff. So thank you for joining us, and our regular visiting Rotarian Orbeck. Do we have any other guests joining us?
No, I don't believe so.
Club announcements. Our 100 Little Things are well underway. We've got trees in the ground and school supplies delivered. Plenty of cards mailed. Community service hours. Currently,
Rick, you're sharing your calendar, not the presentation.
Well, that doesn't help. I don't know why it's not sharing the presentation, but let me just close everything else out, and then hopefully it will show my presentation. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay. So as always, our complete list can be found at rotaryofcarbondale.org/centennial. So we are well underway. I gave blood last week, and I know many others did as well. So continuing out through those projects, great job, everybody. Club duties helping out each week. So here's the link for next week's meeting, or for next week's meeting. As a reminder, we do not have a meeting the following week due to Thanksgiving. Active service projects, Carbondale Warming Center. I did not get the menu today. I'm not sure if she's over there because it's Veterans Day, but we are still supporting the material support project. Gail, do you have any updates on that project?
Yes, I heard from Carmelita that they're kind of gearing up for what they anticipate to be another shelter-in-place order that might be coming. So what they're looking for help with is things like disposable plates and silverware and bowls and cups, coffee creamer and sugar. So basic supplies to help them get through this time that they're anticipating.
Thank you, Gail. Our foundation donation challenge. We want to thank Sharon Harris Johnson again for matching the donation up to $100 in October. Linda Meredith is currently in the month of November, and I'm sure, Jim, we're well on our way with that. With each month, we've yet to miss a month of that $100, and we're all the way through Faith Miller in June of 2021. So if your name's not on this list, you haven't given it, and you're interested or able to match our club donations up to $100 club foundation donation, please throw your name out. Let Jim know, let myself know, or let Shane know, and we'll add you to the list. Some district news that's going on. Our district membership challenge. Shane, do you want to touch base on this? I know you gave me an update after a district meeting last week.
Yeah, the district challenge, there are now close to 45 new Rotarians in the district. So there's a lot of growth happening in the clubs around us. Clubs that are leading this challenge, one of those is Mount Vernon. They've created a satellite club and added over 9-10 new Rotarians to the roles there in the Mount Vernon area. They've also, the O'Fallon Club has added over double digit to their club this year. There's lots of clubs that are growing leaps and bounds during this period. So for us to compete in this, we're gonna have to start picking the pace up. So we've added 2 so far this year. If you know anybody, it's a great time to join Rotary. So other than that, I think everything else is pretty up to date on the screen, Rick.
Sounds good. Rotary International news. We're going to continue to share about the polio eradication. That we are polio free in Africa as of August of this year. The fight still continues. And I want to thank everybody who contributed to the Polio Plus Foundation already this year, and in October especially. If you were unable to, there was a points matching through our district. Now it's time for some of your good news. Who's got some good news to share?
Rick, my good news is that the roofers finished putting a new roof on my house last night about 5:30 p.m. just ahead of the incoming rain.
That's fantastic timing.
I have 2 pieces of good news. Hazel and I were driving across I-64 Sunday evening, about 20 miles east of Mount Vernon, and I hit a deer at full speed and didn't wreck the car, was able to drive it home, and were able to get it into a shop by Monday afternoon and had a rental to use. So we're very grateful for we survived. Then the second thing is I had a squamous carcinoma removed from my hand on Monday, and it was all clear. And so that's, I feel much better about that.
Yeah. Rick, this is Shane. I'd like to share that this week my wife and I are celebrating 24 years of wedding bliss. It's just as exciting today as it was on day one. So I'm shocked that she's still here with me, but I'll take every day that I get.
And this is Linda. I have one piece of good news. Both Carl and I are celebrating birthdays on tomorrow.
Oh,
Any other good news? Just go ahead and speak up. I can't see everybody's screens all at once here. Hearing none, we'll keep on moving. Sergeant at Arms, Mr. White, the floor is yours.
Well, Rick, I think you probably knew this was coming. Almost leaving the club adrift at sea without a leader today. But fortunately, Shane stepped up. But you might want to think about hitting something for a contribution to the club.
It'll be coming.
And then Carl and Linda, happy birthday to you. And as you are well aware of the tradition of birthday celebrations within the club, sometimes that leads to a contribution to the club foundation. So happy birthday to both of you.
All right. Thank you, Gail. Now it's time for our guest speaker, it's Emily Burke of Walkers Bluff. And I know previously you said you were going to share a screen. Are you still prepared to do that, Burke?
you know, Rick, since you're doing such a great job, maybe you could just go to the website for us, Walkers Bluff casinoresort.com, if you don't
Okay.
mind. And I'll go ahead and say good afternoon to everyone. And a very cute assistant that I saw there just a minute ago. It's good to see our families and kids, you know, during these times. I love seeing that on Zoom. And if anybody has any pets that want to watch the presentation, it should be pretty exciting. So thank you so much for this invitation to join you and talk about the first part of our vendor development program for the Walkers Bluff Casino Resort project. First, I'd like to give you a brief update about the project, and then we'll go to the website and I'll ask Rick to click on the buttons there just to show you where you can find everything so that you can refer this to other business owners or potential entrepreneurs. And then I'll share the reason for our approach in doing this vendor development. Right before I turn it over to Kim Guetersloh of KLG Grants. She's one of our talented consultants, local consultants that help to develop this program and to help refer our very talented Southern Illinoisans to the business development help that they need. So you'll recognize a lot of the characters that come up in this presentation today. And then after that, we'd be happy to answer any questions. So first, regarding the update, you may have noticed in the news that we've heard from the Illinois Gaming Board that there'll be a delay of at least maybe 90 days to 6 months in making determinations on all of the licenses that the General Assembly made available to them a little over a year ago. So it's due to COVID, everyone's offices are scrambling to provide additional services, and there's no exception with that organization as well. So in the meantime, our project is ready to go. We won't be turning any dirt over until we get our gaming license, but the why, as far as why we're doing this vendor development workshop, became apparent when we started to identify some services and products that we weren't able to find in Southern Illinois. And instead of just kind of giving up and looking to outside areas, we wanted to find those people that were doing things that were very close and to advertise and let them know that we would like to help, especially starting with any disadvantaged business owners or minority, woman-owned, disabled, or veteran. So we wanted to target those special entrepreneurs first to let them know how to get started with this process. So one of the good things about this program is that it actually applies across the board. So once everyone goes through the necessary steps to become a certified business, they're actually going to be eligible to provide services and products to many, many other local organizations and government offices that need to make certain goals as far as this is concerned. So Rick, if you want to click on more information, which is right there in the middle of the screen. And then, so this is our vendor development workshop. And now I'll turn this over to Kim Guetersloh, who presents this program in this video. You can watch the whole thing later, but I think she's just going to touch on several points today.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kim Guetersloh, and I actually own and operate KLG Grant Consultants. But I'm also the board chair for a newly formed not-for-profit called GROW. Walkers Bluff has been such a fervent community partner, and they have been so dedicated to not only bringing new opportunities to the region, but also to simply improve the lives of all Southern Illinoisans. Walkers Bluff has really reached beyond their own doors and into the community to sponsor these workshops. And these workshops were designed to provide, as Emily said, marginalized individuals with information to assist them with creating and or strengthening small businesses in the Southern Illinois region. Originally, we had a total of 3 live workshops scheduled, but we're only able to conduct the first one in March because of COVID. And so the last 2 are being conducted via Zoom. And you can see on the website all the information. I think that's coming up. The next one is the 19th, Emily, is that correct? I believe it's the 19th of November at 4 p.m. Anyway, the workshops have been created to help those individuals who either have small businesses or would like to actually create a small business. The SIU Small Business Development Center, they actually talk about all of the services that they provide. Then Russell Business and Financial Group out of DuQuoin, Robin Russell, she actually has worked for the Small Business Development Center. She worked there for years and years and years. And she now owns her own business, but she actually takes everybody through the steps of receiving a small business certification. That could be becoming a certified woman or minority-owned business. And then I actually talk about worker-owned co-ops and our newly created nonprofit called GROW. And that's the piece I'm going to briefly talk to you guys about today. GROW is an acronym for Grassroots Opportunities for Work Cooperatives. And GROW was formed to fill a huge need in the Southern Illinois region. A group of organizations that I had been working with for several years, we all worked with placing disenfranchised individuals in family-sustaining jobs. And we realized that what we had been doing for such a long time really wasn't working. It was really hard to place people that have no education and no skills into decent paying jobs. And so let me back up a little bit. The only thing that we were doing was moving these individuals off of the roles of being unemployed and onto the roles of being underemployed. And they simply became the working poor. And most of these folks are still eligible and will probably be eligible for most governmental programs. And so they're never going to be really self-reliant. And so anyway, we decided to create GROW. GROW itself is not a work cooperative, but was formed to actually act as an incubator or accelerator for work cooperatives. Grove's goal is to aid in building wealth in communities most directly affected by inequality. We want to help those vulnerable workers build skills, earning potential income and assets. Grow actually conducts all activities associated with creating, running, and sustaining the worker-owned cooperatives. Activities for Grow will include overseeing, incubating, and nurturing the day-to-day operations, conducting financial management, recruiting worker owners, creating marketing efforts, and identifying potential customers. We actually did receive a grant to create a business plan and to conduct a feasibility study and to start the 501c3. That actually happened in February of this year. So we are pretty much a new organization. We have written 2 additional grants and have received notification of award. The first will allow Grow to actually start working on creating a healthcare work cooperative. We're working with Shawnee Community College to create career pathways from CNA or first responder all the way to and through like BS in nursing or paramedic. We want to create multiple entry and exit points for individuals. So maybe they come in and they get their CNA and they go to work for 2 years, and then they decide they want to then get an LPN certificate. Then they come back in and get their LPN and they might work for 5 years. So there are many, many opportunities for people to enter and exit depending on what they want to do. We also have gotten another grant to allow us to provide microloans to cover any startup cost that new workers or owners might incur. Those costs might include uniforms or footwear or stethoscopes or some sort of pieces of equipment that they might need to provide. With regards to the perks for actually joining a work cooperative, unlike traditional businesses where there's a top-down structure, work cooperatives have more of a lateral structure. And this structure allows funds to be, or finances to be spread more evenly among the worker and owners. Each member also actively participates in decision-making activities by having one vote whenever the co-op is actually voting on major decisions like pay scales and holidays and things of that sort. Profits are also spread among the worker owners. And worker owners are offered ongoing training and educational opportunities to allow them to advance to other positions within the work cooperative. We have a board, and our board is comprised of about 50% of low-income individuals, people that are either currently in poverty or people that have escaped poverty. Grow's mission is to afford those in poverty with opportunities to help plan, develop, implement their own pathways out of poverty. Each individual participating in the project or working for the organization, as I said before, will be interlinked by the thread of poverty. They're either in poverty or have found a way to escape poverty. This whole entire system or project is not necessarily a hand up, is a hand up and not necessarily a handout. We want to really help move so many of these people towards self-sufficiency and towards self-sustainability, and to really eliminate generational poverty that we often see here within the region. And so I'm just very thankful that Walkers Bluff has reached out and has allowed us to come along and to allow us to provide information to future members of the different co-ops. We are, in addition to the healthcare co-op, we're creating a childcare co-op and a janitorial, housekeeping, groundskeeping type of co-op. So anyway, say a prayer for us. We have a lot of work ahead of us. This is going to be a long, drawn out process, and it will probably take us a couple of years to really get going well and be able to move forward. And the thing with GROW also is whenever the co-ops, the co-ops will be totally independent of GROW. The only thing GROW will do will be to create those support systems and help move the work co-ops along. Whenever the co-ops and the members and owners of each of the co-ops feel that they can do this on their own, then GROW will step away from that project. So it's not something that we will be in necessarily involved in the co-ops forever, but if the co-ops need us, we will be there as long as they need us to be there. So thank you for everything. Does anyone have any questions for me?
I'm with the creation of the Walkers Bluff Casino Resort, instead of having a slew of employees, it sounds, or am I correct in saying that it looks like you're looking to have vendors in those roles, a housekeeping co-op, a groundskeeping co-op, things like that?
Well, actually, the co-op is, the work co-ops are independent of Walkers Bluff. The only thing Walkers Bluff has been doing has been sponsoring these workshops. Of course, ideally, we would love to be able to bid on, contracts and things with not only Walkers Bluff, but with other organizations within the region. But, we will have to abide by any rules and, any processes and procedures that Walkers Bluff puts forward for everyone else. We will be basically an independent vendor, just like anybody else. So we won't receive any special treatment or anything like that.
Yeah, and if I could add that, so no, there will be definitely hundreds of employees, and what Kim is describing is the way that instead of an individual having to take all the risk themselves in order to become a vendor, they're able to do that cooperatively. So, so these would be things that we would normally outsource. Definitely hundreds and hundreds of employee jobs and things on site. And Rick, if you would scroll to the bottom of that page that you're on, I can show everyone this small link. There it is, perfect. Right under that submit button, it says to sign up for future vendor updates and submit your business information. There's a link there. And if you want to try to click it, I don't know if it'll let you go to it without that. Perfect, great. So this form, it helps us to collect information about different businesses, whether or not they could qualify to be a certified business. And then we can refer them back to our community members, like the Small Business Incubator or other development, and even help them find financing. All of these things are services that are available to everyone. We're just hoping to help people do it on a much quicker timeline. So.
Do we have any other questions for Kim or Emily? All right. Seeing none, we'll go back to our slideshow. What's happening next week? Next week, we have our grant recipients joining us. So I need to touch base with Gayla and make sure that we've got all of our grant recipients scheduled to join us next week. And then the following week is Thanksgiving. So we will not have a meeting on the 25th, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Before we go to the four-way test, Shane had a couple other things he wanted to mention here today in our meeting.
Yeah, something I forgot to mention during good news. The Gil Cronin has helped set up the Salvation Army bell ringing duties this year. I will be sending out a link through Doodle to where you can sign up in hourly increments. We will be camped out at the Carbondale Kroger beginning the first Wednesday in December and every Wednesday through December from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So you can work whatever times that are available, but the Doodle poll will be broken up in 1 hour slots. If you want to cover the entire 2 hour, just type in and click on both links. If you want to work less than that, just click on the box that shows the hour. That way we know we have somebody there. If we end up covering all of those Wednesdays or Wednesdays don't work for you and you'd like us to set up another day or another location, please just email me. They're in dire need of getting bell ringers out there. I think we were one of the first organizations to go ahead and set up in Carbondale. So there will be lots of opportunities if we choose to do that. Also, the Toys for Tots drive. If you have toys, you can drop them off at Egyptian Electric's office in Murfreesboro or get in contact with Gayla Borgononi. They are needing toys for young infants. They're also needing toys for individuals 10 to 12 years old. So if you're wanting to participate in the toy drive, start thinking about getting toys, and there's multiple places that we can collect them from. I believe Gayla's probably still on the line, but she may be muted. So hopefully I hit everything that she wanted to talk about. Circling back to 100 Little Things, we did complete some projects in the last month, the biggest one being the 100 pints of blood. We did cross 100 people donating blood. So thank you for those that continue to do that. There will be plenty more opportunities if you missed giving blood here in the last couple of weeks. So we'll continue to keep pushing on that. And everybody have a great Veterans Day and a great weekend. I'll hand it back to Rick.
Now it's time for the four-way test. I've got Linda Flowers down. I don't know if Linda was actually signed up for it this week, but I have her down to lead us the four-way test. So please lead us in the four-way test.
They're going to come up on the screen.
It should be up now. If it's not, I'll stop my share and we'll. Because I'm on
still have
today at home, it didn't. It was still showing me the Walkers Bluff stuff. So let me. There. How's that?
Okay. Much better. The four-way test of what we think, say, or do. Number 1.
Is it true?
Number 2.
Is it fair to all
to all concerned.
Number 3.
Will it build
goodwill and better
friendships? Better friendships.
Number 4.
Will it
be
be beneficial?
beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us at Rotary this week, and we will see you again next week.